Radio 84, of course, on Sunday afternoons goes places and loses things, and this afternoon we have a special treat for you. We're in the, what would you call this that we're in, sir?
This is what you call the occult, you see. What happens is...
Well, have you spent many years learning to be an occult person?
Many years I have spent. Many years I go to the darkest continents in the world to learn from voodoo and white and the black magic. All these I have learned.
Sort of unique for Russian to do that, isn't it?
Well, you can't do it without you got a boat, but...
Don't travel
I made all
Russia.
the trips, I tell you that.
Well, what should I do now? I'm just trying to communicate to our radio audience exactly what it is to become involved in an occult type seance thing.
Well, the most important thing you have to remember is you have to control your mind to think about... Think. It is very, you can't...
As opposed to stink.
Without
think.
I hope. Let me move back a little. No, serious. You have got to control your mind on the object or the person that you want to return. Otherwise,
do I have to put my hands on the table here?
Well, it would be better if you're going to deal.
Okay.
We're dealing in the occult here.
Oh, I see.
That's
yes.
what I meant. Yeah, you can sit in. But I think that would be good. Yeah, you keep your hands up there. Matter of fact, don't let them anywhere else because you got to be careful with the cards are. You see.
I have my hands now on the table. And what should our radio? Should they put their hands on the radio or?
Well, unless they've got an awfully small set, it would be bad. But if they've got a radio that is big enough to put their hands
on the radio
in front of a little table that is in front of the radio.
Oh, not on the radio. Somebody else has got that one.
Well, I don't know where the radio, maybe it's a borrowed radio, that's not my business. But if they put their hands on any flat surface, turn the light out and think about who they want to bring back.
Okay. Now, friends out there in Radio Land, if you will put your hands on a radio, I'm sorry, no, not on the radio, that's right, we can't touch that line.
No, they can't.
If you will put your hands on a table by your radio and concentrate very, very hard. What are they concentrating on, sir?
They are concentrating on bringing back from the beyond a certain poison that they have longed to see for a long time, and they want to ask an important question of this person.
I see. Okay, well, friends, if you'll just put your hands on that table now and concentrate with us.
Concentrate. You concentrate on this poison, whoever this poison is you want to bring back. You want to bring back maybe a brother-in-law. That's very important.
I have a brother-in-law I'd like to bring back.
You'd like to bring him back.
About $50 in.
$50 into your brother-in-law. That is interesting, but I'm sorry with personal matters. I don't want to become involved.
Yes.
All I do is I recreate your brother-in-law before your very eyes.
Is there anything that I should say?
Only what you want to ask him. Ask him a question. Is he your brother-in-law? And he will tell you yes or no.
Well, how many questions do I have?
If he tells you no, I fire him. What?
How many questions do I have?
Well, I don't know. How well do you get along with your brother-in-law?
Not very well.
Well, you got a lot of things to ask him.
Okay. Now I'm concentrating very hard on my brother-in-law.
What was your brother-in-law's first name?
It's been a long time.
That's too long. I got to shorten that name. It's been a long time. It's ridiculous. Must be Indian.
Bill. It was
Bill.
Bill.
That's strange. I got a lot of those. Bill. Back. What was Bill's last name?
Bill Johnson.
I got to know his last name because a lot of Bills are lined up.
It's a lot of Johnsons, too. I didn't make it any easier. I have a feeling.
That curtain you wouldn't believe. Anyway, now, the lights are out. Your country must be perfect silence.
The lights just went off. Does that mean anything?
Either with somebody trying to switch or they got tired of waiting for the bill.
Okay, I'm concentrating.
Sending a check to the mail if you're listening.
The lights are off.
The lights are off.
Bill. Do I say Bill or just think Bill?
Call him. You call him to your voice a couple times, and I take over for the call.
I see. Bill, your turn.
This is your brother-in-law. He wants to communicate with you, Bill Johnson. Paging Bill Johnson. Wherever you are, I want you to make an appearance here on the outer wall so that your brother-in-law can ask you an important question.
Hey, that's not him.
But you're looking at the wrong wall.
Oh.
You got a big crowd here tonight. Other people are looking for people.
That was a nude, actually. You have a very strange office here,
sir. You're wearing a mask. What wall are you concentrating on?
I'm on the other wall now.
You turn around, you're on the other wall. I work on this wall now. Bill Johnson. This brother-in-law of yours seems to completely lack control. I'm trying to get through to you. This man wants to talk to you. Here, look at that. Look, you see those two? You see those two movements there? Those are eyeballs. And I'm serious.
They're blinking.
I wish you were, because we're messing up the whole thing. I only got this room for a couple of hours.
In Houston, joy and jubilation. Our astronauts are in fine shape. Here at our studios, it just so happens that we have the father of the U.S. space program, Walter von Red. We'd like to ask you, now that we have you with us, what the recent announced cutbacks will mean to you, sir.
Well, actually, I don't know if I'm being cut back or not. I haven't been to work for several days. But the space program is very important to me.
How is that, sir?
Well, all my life.
Important to the United States or important to you personally?
More important to me personally, I think, because all my life I have been a roomer.
A what?
And a roomer.
A roomer?
Yeah, and if I don't have the space, you see. But actually, I don't know. I think that we are going in the...
A roamer. A roamer.
Romer.
I see.
What's
Not
the matter?
rumor.
You don't speak English? Anyway, serious about this space program. I think it is a wonderful thing, and...
Well, more specifically now, how is this affecting your department, the cutback financially?
Well, it's going to mean a whole new lot of things because we have to sell some of the furniture. You see, now we are working on the floor a lot. And,
working on the floor?
We launch a lot of programs from the floor now, and because we ain't got no desks left up there, and you know.
Well, is it true now? We've heard a rumor of late that the space program has been conducting Sunday flea market sales.
No, that's not true.
Not true.
What we done was we raffled off a few things, you know. They raffled off a few rockets, and one of them went to the ceiling and up to the other place.
Did you give him a discount on that?
It's a real problem because you see it come up during a meeting in the boardroom there, and he didn't like it much, Richard, and so that just cost us a little problem. But we don't have no fleas in the place. No, we got to fumigate. We had a cootie once.
A what?
A cootie.
But
then we got good relations with China, and we had to get rid of it.
Well, what's it like to be head of a giant department like the space program?
I'm on per diem. Oh, excuse me. It's a wonderful. I wish that all I can say is, you know, since we lost, it's good to have a job. But I took anything I could get.
Well, I guess it was some thrill for you to be at the control center when the first man stepped foot on the moon.
Oh, it was tremendous to be in the control center when that happened, because I remember I was pushing buttons, you see, all the time.
Pushing buttons?
Yes, and it was just a tremendous thrill for me to watch this man land on the moon. You know, we take the first step on the moon. I did.
Do you recall?
It's round, you know, up there. I didn't know the color was there.
Do you recall what the man's the first statement was when the man stepped on the moon?
Yes, I got a hole in my shoe. There's a lock, and it was a...
That of course didn't get out to the nation.
No, that wasn't what they said. He said something about one step, small step for man, and a giant step for mankind. He didn't say that. No,
that wasn't right.
No,
you probably wrote that in.
No,
it
was a poor translator.
I see.
Yeah, they got a German to translate it who hadn't give up yet, and it was a bad thing, actually.
Well, how long have you've been in the space program now for many years?
Oh, I've been spacey all my life, I think. My mother said, well, anyway.
How did you first become interested in space travel and spaceships and rockets?
I got interested in space, I guess, was first, I don't know how many years ago it was. I was interested in space. Excuse me, sometimes I make a mistake and speak English.
So anyway, you came after the war, of course, came to the United States to head up the United States program. There are rumors about that too, that you were actually kidnapped.
Oh no, that wasn't true. No.
Well, how did the United States government manage to persuade you to come over to our space program?
Well, at the trial, they said if I come over, it would be all right. So actually, I made a deal with them, you see. I sacrificed all my knowledge and my intelligence and wit in order to live a little, and because they had the chair warm and everything from the other fella, and I'm a fella never liked to sit down much. I'm always active, kind of.
I see. So you did accept the gracious wishes of the United States to come over to head up the space program. And I suppose starting from scratch, of course, the United States wasn't into space too much at that time.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't too bad over here. We didn't have... You see, the Germans sent up the rockets was the first thing in this space that I can remember. And I don't know, that we didn't have much over here because they didn't think it was necessary to have it. Oh, I'm losing my wallet. That's $1.50 right there. How much a mark's worth? Anyway. Seriously, we didn't have much space program. I come over here and changed the whole thing, you see. And we lost a lot of folks at first,
Well, what was the idea of moving the command post to Houston?
The earthquake was coming in, and we had to get out while we could. There was a tremor. And we had to move. You see, when the land was rumbling, at first I thought it was a heart murmur, but it wasn't. But so what we done was we had to move it to keep the earth from breaking up and, ruining everything.
It wasn't true that Texas had some money in the kitty for you personally.
Oh no, that was they don't want to secede anymore. They offered me the job out there as Emperor of Texas, but I wouldn't take it.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, Walter Von Red, for dropping by our studios. I know you want to get back to Houston. I know you have many important things to do there. But as you leave, I would like to play for you a song which I'm sure that will bring back old memories for you.
Racing with the moon, high up in the midnight blue, and then like the moon, it's lost from view. Your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. When the world seems to shine like you've had too much wine, that's amore. High up, high up. Don't let the stars get in your eyes, don't let the moon break your heart. Love blooms at night. Yippee-yi-yay, yippee-yi-yo. The ghost riders in the sky.
It's our pleasure to have with us today Dr. Marcus Markup. Is that, sir?
That's right,
correct, sir?
Dr. Markup.
Mm-hmm. Are you a GP? General practitioner.
Oh, yeah, I'm a doctor, an MD, right.
MD.
GP, MD.
I
right.
see. Mm-hmm. How long did it take you to become a doctor?
Oh, about 6 or 8 months. It was a special correspondence school.
I see. Mm-hmm. And immediately you went into
postage was a lot. They'd send you a body in the mail.
By mail,
and
mm-hmm.
send it back.
Well, what do you think about today's medicine and the young students wishing to become involved in the medical profession?
More doctors we can get, the better.
Mm-hmm.
Need a lot of... I'm busy. I've got so many patients you wouldn't believe the number.
Well, I wanted
of
to ask you about that, sir. Of course,
got a couple waiting here in the hall.
Today,
One of them passed out?
Get an appointment with a doctor,
Yeah.
it's something like a couple of months in advance.
That's right.
That's pretty critical for heart patients, isn't it?
Yes, a lot of your patients call up and they faint while they're talking to you when they hear the date when you can see them. But if it's really an emergency, there's a lot of your general lay public doesn't understand.
I see.
You call up with an emergency. You call my switchboard.
A true emergency like a slashed artery or something like that?
Yeah, something big. I could probably work you in easily with 7 or 8 days. No problem.
7 or 8 days, huh?
Sure, if you call at the right time.